Good evening and welcome to the SRX broadcast split. It is 10:30 p.m. right now and we're going to be racing at Road America. Just waiting for the session to go up. Uh looks like we have about 7 people registered for this event. So just waiting for the race session to go up. I do apologize for missing last week's SRX race, but I did make a broadcast if you haven't seen it yet. It's just a normal video on my channel. It's not a live stream or anything. Just had a replay file very generously given to me by Chad Brummer. We have Road America for a 7-lap tilt. This race should be about 15, 15 minutes long. Loading into the session right now. Strength of field is going to be 1910 with 7 cars in this race. Then just gotta get my ticker running, and we will be good to go. So just over a minute left in qualifying right now, as we see Corey Tonini spin around, coming out
stop hitting these curbs.
Coming out of turn 3. Looking at the 5, Chad Bremer right now as he's going into turn 5. Or not turn 5, sorry, that's Cattle Bottoms. With 30 seconds left in practice, drivers get 1 lap of qualifying because iRacing messed up the qualifying time to 5 minutes instead of 8 or 10 minutes. And lap times around here typically range in the 2-minute 15-second bracket. So you got 1 chance to make it. If you go off track once, your qualifying effort's kind of invalidated because you're not able to get a second lap in. But practice has finally concluded. Moving to qualifying right now. Let's see who's first out on track. Let's take a look at Barrett Canning, the 3 car. Out on track right now. Trying to get those cold tires warmed up for the qualifying lap. Very tough to get these heavy SRX cars. Not a lot of downforce slowed down for these tight, almost flat corners here at Road America. But if there's a will, there's a way for these drivers, and they will get these cars slowed down. You can see them flying down the sweep, coming into turn 5. A little bit of a slide of the rears for Canning. on his out lap, but this lap does not count because he's getting up to speed. Field looking at Taylor Daniels in the 6 car. Chris Wett's in car number 2. I believe I last saw him last season at the Charlotte Roval. Glad to see him make what I believe is his first iRacing broadcasted split appearance. Same with the one of Jeffrey Schnackle. But some familiar faces here in the broadcasted split. We have Barrett Canning, Chad Bremer, and Taylor Daniels showing up, making up 3 out of the 7 car field here at Road America. They come to Canada corner, able to get Barrett Canning able to get that car slowed down without any lockups. Very important to do so if you want to have a fast Canada corner. And coming into the final corner right here, important to get a good run coming to your flying lap, your only chance at it, down this long front straightaway here at Road America. Hard on the brakes for turn 1, easing into it, coming to turn 2 and 3 right here. Kept very nice and tidy by that 3 car. Turn 5 going to be a pivotal corner for time. Don't want to overshoot it or else you're losing a second or more. Getting that car slowed down. Don't see any lockups. The brake rotors glowing bright orange as he's applying as much brake as he can without locking up those tires. Into turn 6 and 7, keeping it pretty tidy thus far. Not even using that much of the curbs. Then into Road America's famous carousel here. Want to be trying to get as much throttle as you can without getting tight and running wide. Barrett Canning running a little bit tight through the center, not able to cut down and get a straight exit. But still, that car looking very fast as they brake for the kink. Gotta brake for the kink here since these cars don't have a lot of downforce, using all the curb. Almost out to the grass, playing with fire since that will invalidate your lap time. But coming into the second most pivotal corner right here, Canada corner. Very easy to lock up the tires. And Barrett Canning does a nice job of keeping that car straight without smoking the tires. And then just a final sector here to complete a pretty solid qualifying lap. Didn't really see many mistakes. He could have been a little bit more aggressive with some of these corners, like that corner right there, but you always run the risk of pushing it just a little bit too much and invalidating your lap time if you try to push the issue. But Barrett Canning sets a time good enough for 3rd place. Ricky Paz sets 2:14.2, good enough for pole right now. And that is going to round out qualifying. Drivers won't be able to get their second lap done. So now just waiting for the cars to grid so we can get your starting lineup going right here. There we go. Someone finally gridded. It's Taylor Daniels, the first car to grid. Okay, let's get your starting lineup up on the screen. Starting on pole is car number 4 of Ricky Paz, and on his outside of the front row is going to be car 1 of Jeffrey Schnackle. Starting in third, inside of row number 2, is going to be car number 5, Chad Bremer. On his outside is going to be the 3 car of Barrett G. Canning. Rounding out your top 5, it's going to be Chris Wetz in the 2 car, followed by Taylor Daniels in car number 6, starting in position number 6. Then, in 7th place, rounding out your field of 7 cars today at Road America, it's going to be Corey Tonini. At this pretty small field of 7 cars, but we should have a pretty clean race with that few of drivers. We should have a pretty clean race. Less opportunities for people to run into each other. That's what I'm trying to say. But a very long pace lap here at Road America. Cars going to be trying to get their brakes and tires warmed up so they can be at optimal temperature when the race starts, to avoid any unforeseen handling issues that may bite them on the first lap or so. But those tires get heated up very quickly in the heavy braking zones here at Road America at full speed. Under the Sargento Cheese Bridge. And coming into turn 5 right now through the Moraine Sweep. At a blistering 45 miles per hour, these cars are going around a 4-mile long track. Really makes you wish that iRacing did the short pace laps here. Coming into the carousel, these 7 cars are rumbling at 65 now. But down the straightaway, these cars are typically hitting about 150 to 160 before they have to get hard on the brakes, going from about 160 miles per hour down to 50. And very easy to make a mistake here with how easily the tires lock up. If you just put a little bit of wheel into it, the tires will lock up in these cars, especially under heavy braking. So definitely something to look out for. But coming into Canada corner, just about to go green. And it's going to be Ricky Paz leading the field to the green flag. He can go whenever the pace car comes into pit lane. All right, out of the final corner, down the front straight. Pace car is going to make the hard right turn into pit lane. Now it's up to Ricky Paz to hit the gas whenever he wants to. And he'll get on the lap pedal pretty early. He's going to jump out to about a 0.2 of a second gap over Jeffrey Schnackle. Down the front straightaway, Schnackle going to block Chad Bremer down the front straight here as they barrel into turn 1. Everyone looking to get through it relatively cleanly. Barrett Canning looking to pull up alongside Chad Bremer. Chris Wetz looking maybe for the long way around Barrett Canning. But no dice just yet. Wetz gets a good exit, but not good enough to pull up alongside that 3 car just yet. As they come down the Moraine sweep here under the Sargento Cheese Bridge, Chris Wetz looking hungry to make a pass on Canning. Canning playing a little bit of a defensive game. You can see Corey Tonini getting close to the back bumper of Taylor Daniels. A lot of these cars are pretty well packed together here for the first lap. Ricky Paz setting the pace here and doing a pretty good job at it. Barrett Canning has Chris Wetz all over his back bumper. Chris Wetz going to try to make a lunge to the inside of Canning. Coming into kettle bottoms, and Wetz is going to get the move made on Canning. So Chris Wetz up to 4th position, runs a little bit wide in the carousel, but gets that car cut back down to minimize the time lost. As they come through the kink, cars getting a little bit more spread out, about a 0.7 of a second gap between Ricky Paz and Jeffrey Schnackle coming into Canada corner. A little bit of a loose moment from Schnackle as he got on the gas trying to make up some time to that 4 car. Very easy to do here at Road America, as we saw Chris Wetz running really wide. Now almost off track for a second, but able to keep that car straight with a 0.6 of a second gap over Barrett Canning. He's gonna try to reel in Chad Bremer, who's 1.3 seconds ahead. Into turn 3 right now. Schnackle definitely keeping pace with Paz. Reminding the leader that he is still there and very eager to pounce if that 4 car makes a mistake, as I believe Corey Tonini had an accident and went into pit lane. Further in the back in 5th, Barrett Canning trying to catch up to Chris Wetz. You see Taylor Daniels get a little bit tight and run off into the gravel, kicking gravel back onto the track. Both of these cars going into the carousel, or going into the kink right now, I apologize. But Schnackle has kept the pressure on Ricky Paz. Still about 0.6 behind as they brake heavily for Canada corner. All it will take is 1 mistake from Ricky Paz for Schnackle to be all over his back bumper. So Paz will definitely have to drive a perfect race if he wants to keep that 1 car behind him. A little bit of a slide from Schnackle out of the final corner, going to cost him about a 1/10 in terms of time to him to Paz. But just crossed the stripe to start lap number 3, braking for turn 1. Last time by for Paz a 213.77. Last time for Schnackle a 213.75. So Schnackle very slightly faster, but he's going to need a little bit more than slightly faster to get around that 4 car. Chris Wetz is closing in on Chad Bremer for the 3rd spot as well, as both these cars fly into turn 5. Wetz using all of the track that is given to him. Same with Barrett Canning. But I'm sure Jeffrey Schnackle in the 1 car is really hoping for a little bit of a slide from that 4 car just ahead of him, to put him in range to make a move. But nothing materializing just yet, as you saw Schnackle take as much exit of the carousel as he could. Same with the kink. He's really pushing this car to its limits to try and catch up to that 4 car. Both Paz and Schnackle keeping the these heavy SRX cars very tidy through these heavy braking sections. I tell you what, that gap is about half a second now. Schnackle is doing a good job closing in on Paz. See the time last time by 2:14.1 for Paz, 2:13.9 for Schnackle. So Schnackle very slowly closing in on Paz, and soon he's going to be all over the back bumper of Ricky Paz if he keeps this pace up. Schnackle a little bit loose on exit, trying to put down the throttle as much as he can. Within 0.4 of a second of the leader. Both drivers very fast through turn 5, keeping about an equal distance from each other, 0.4 of a second separating them. Paz with a little bit of a wider entry, gonna allow Schnackle to close in just a little bit more to really put the pressure on this 4 car. Both cars using as much track as they possibly can. Schnackle overshooting the entrance to the carousel a little bit, having to get that car slowed down and composed. Through the kink, both of them go a little wide for Paz. I don't think he got an off track, but it's definitely going to allow Schnackle to get a little bit closer to him. Both drivers make it through Canada corner very cleanly. But Paz with a great final sector so far, pulling that gap from about 0.3 of a second to 0.6 of a second. As Schnackle had a little bit of a loose moment out of Canada corner. That's the last time by, about 2.5 added to Ricky Paz, which is not a lot of breathing room, but it's at least something to prevent that 1 car from hounding your back end. Whoa, big slide from Schnackle. He's really determined to catch up, but doing so, he's lost another 0.2 just from that slide, and he's heated up his rears quite a lot. He's gonna need a mistake from Paz to close that gap back up. And Ricky Paz looking very calm and collected, despite a very fast Schnackle right behind him. These guys got about a 5-second gap over Chad Bremer in third, who has one car behind him to worry about in terms of Chris Wetz, who is trying his best to get into the podium here with 3 laps to go. Back at the front, Schnackle's definitely closed the gap that he lost from sliding a lot. And Chris Wetz has closed the gap to Chad Bremer by quite a good amount for third. Both drivers slowing down for Canada Corner. Wetz gonna try to mount a charge on that 5 car as they come to 2 laps to go. Oh, big slide from Chad Bremer. That's gonna hurt his speed down the straightaway as Chris Wetz is gonna pull alongside to his outside. Bremer's gonna have the preferred line coming into turn 1. Wetz is gonna have the momentum as they are side by side for third coming into turn 1. Chad Bremer on the inside, Chris Wetz on the outside. Bremer has the advantage. Oh, they almost made contact, the 5 and the 2 do. But keeping it clean so far. Bremer to the inside. Maybe we'll see a crossover from Wetz. Not going to happen as Bremer is able to hold off the charge from Chris Wetz in turn 3. Further up at the front, Schnackle has latched on to the back of Paz once again. Wetz still not that far behind Bremer after Bremer was able to defend third place, and this might allow Barrett Canning to come in to the fold as Chris Wetz goes off track a little bit. Oh, big slide from Paz for the lead. So Paz is really pushing this car, and I might start to bite him in terms of handling with 2 laps to go. He's got Schnackle all over his back bumper. Into the kink, cars 4 and 1 go. Paz using a little bit of that grass up. Schnackle keeping all 4 tires on the asphalt here. Into Canada Corner, both drivers do a great job navigating it. Coming to the white flag here on the broadcasted split. Ricky Paz has 4 miles to try to hold off the one of Jeffrey Schnackle as he pulls up a lot of time in the final corner. Rushing down the front straightaway, both these cars go across the start-finish line for the white flag in the air here at Road America. Final lap, Schnackle looking to make a move on Paz. Not going to have anything for him in turn 1. He's going to get a great drive out of turn 1. Might try to make the lunge into turn 3. Catch Paz by surprise. Both drivers deciding to play it safe. Into turn 3. A little bit of a bump from Schnackle in turn 3. That puts Paz really sideways. Coming down the moraine sweep into turn 5. Whoa, Paz a little bit slick. Those rear tires are definitely all heated up. Schnackle getting really close. Paz with a defensive line. Schnackle hard on the brakes. Contact with the leaders into turn 5. Paz running a little bit wide. Schnackle able to get on the gas earlier than Paz. Schnackle to the inside. Up the hill under the Corvette banner. Schnackle gonna move just barely alongside, but he gets a little bit loose. Still side by side between the 4 and the 1 car. Coming into turn 7. Both drivers dead even as they approach the kettle bottoms coming to the Johnsonville Bridge. Paz with the crossover on Schnackle. They're going to be in the carousel. Schnackle, a little bit of contact with Paz. they're going to be crossing each other over in the carousel. Maybe we see a little bit of a bump from Paz as glued to the back end of Schnackle's SRX car. Both cars nose to tail as they approach the kink. Who's going to blink first here on the final lap of the SRX broadcast split? Paz still glued to the back end of the one car side by side as they come to Canada corner. Paz in the grass. He's going to be to the inside of Schnackle coming into Canada corner. Both drivers get it slowed down in time. Paz sideways, Schnackle sideways. They're leaning on each other as they come out of Canada corner. This is great racing that we're seeing here in the SRX broadcast split. Still side by side between Paz and Schnackle. Coming to the final corner here at Road America. Schnackle with a defiant charge on the outside. Paz gonna try to hold his own on the inside. Side by side, Schnackle gets loose. Paz is gonna slip on by. It's going to be Ricky Paz coming home with the win in the SRX broadcast split after an amazing final lap battle with Jeffrey Schnackle. What a race that we just witnessed here in the SRX broadcast split. SRX never fails to disappoint, and I tell you what, that was an amazing final lap. I'm going to be submitting that to the iRacing Top 10. God, that gets my blood flowing. I love racing like that. Oh, yeah. That was awesome. So now that I've got that out of my system, let's get your finishing results up on the screen after that amazing final lap battle between Ricky Paz and Jeffrey Schnackle. Both drivers very deserving to do a cool down lap. Paz is gonna burn it down in turn 5 as your broadcast split winner for this week at Road America. Coming home a very close second is the one of Jeffrey Schnackle. In third, it's Chad Bremer, car number 5. Barrett Cannon gets past Chris Wetz for 4th and 5th. Taylor Daniels comes home 6th, and Corey Tonini was the only car to not finish this race. He parked the car on lap 2, but that did not stop us from having an amazing race to broadcast here in the SRX broadcast split. Oh, man, that was on par with Mexico City last season, I think. That was a great finish. Thank you for watching the SRX broadcast split. My name is Garrett Hess. Big thank you to Andrew Schulte and SKS Graphics for their help with the ticker. Wouldn't be possible without them. Let's see where we're going next week for the SRX series. Let me pull up the schedule real quick so I know. I know that we're going back to an oval. I need to see which oval it is. Oh, we're going to IRP. That's a great track next week. IRP next week. I will see you then. Tune in. 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stream will go up 10:25. My name is Garrett Hess. You're watching the SRX broadcast split. Y'all take it easy.